Neothink Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to NTR Neothink Radio on the road to the White House with the 12 Visions Party. I'm Steve Fagan, your host. This show offers you the opportunity to hear ordinary people talk about an extraordinary system to move our lives forward and live happily, even with prosperity. Making all the people rich, including the poor. That is right, making all the people rich, including the poor. You ask how this happens? Well, dear listeners, the answer is the 12 Visions Party. Before we get into our show this evening, I would like to read an excerpt. Mark Hamilton, the founder of the 12 Visions Party, has written a book called Wealth, Health, and Peace. And there's some major valuable information in this literature, and I would like to take an excerpt from it. It has to do with removing the rule of man for universal wealth, including the poor. Once we recognize and remove from politics and law the inherent problem of man, flaw-filled creatures easily influenced by power and money, then we will quickly rise into a wealthy world. Even the poor will rise. Ruling class power must be taken out of the hands of man. Freedom and prosperity throughout history suffered when man created, interpreted, and executed the law. On the other hand, freedom and prosperity throughout history soared when man was removed from the political and bureaucratic controls. Our country soared when we mostly removed the rule of man. To complete the evolution into universal prosperity, the powers of the legislative, judicial, and executive branches must be taken away from the opinions and agendas of flaw-filled man and put into the flawless prime law. If you take 100 well-educated men and women and ask them their thoughts on important issues of law and politics, they will be bombarded. They will even bombard you with many different opinions and agendas, as exemplified by the U.S. Senate. Moreover, once in positions of political power, surrounded by the trappings of irresistible power and wealth, their answers become directed for their own benefits, for their own political clout. Man is an easily influenced, easily corrupted creature. Therefore, the laws that govern man must be free of man. The only way to be free of man is to reduce law to its essence. Once at the fundamental nature of something, there is no going deeper. All the opinions, agendas, illusions, dishonesties, and corruptions, all man's faults, no longer matter. The fundamental nature stands unchanged, unscathed, unconditional, uncorrupted, plain for all to forever see and know. Again, it's plain for all to forever see and know, which is the nature of the prime law. At this point in the show, I would like to read the prime law. The prime law, the fundamental of protection. The purpose of human life is to prosper and live happily. The function of government is to provide the conditions that let individuals fulfill that purpose. The prime law guarantees those conditions by forbidding the use of initiatory force, fraud, or coercion by any person or group against any individual, property, or contract. Article 1. No person, group of persons, or government shall initiate force, threat of force, or fraud against individual self, property, or contract. Article 2. Force is morally and legally justified only for protection from those who violate Article 1. Article 3. No exceptions shall exist for Articles 1 and 2. Well, I feel that that's a very powerful documentation that we all need to think about and realize the power that is going to offer all of us to move forward with our lives, to be able to empower ourselves and make the lives that we are meant to live. We are there, all of us. We have an opportunity to prosper and live happily. The prime law is going to offer that to us. we are going to be moving from flawed Phil man to the prime law. And our goal is to put an amendment to the Constitution with the prime law. Today, we're going to continue on with our conversation from last week. As you know, we're doing quite a bit of focus on the 7 campaign visions. We want to focus in detail about these visions and how they're going to empower all of us and make an impact globally. So I have asked again for Mr. Michael Dilworth and for Mr. Larry Wert to join me today to go into further discussion of the 7 campaign visions. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm glad you could make it to the show today.
Glad to be here, Steve, as always.
Well, thank you, Michael. And Larry, the same to hear that you're here with us. We're really, you started this off, Larry, with the 7 visions last week, and, that just got us going into I found a very dynamic dialogue. And, I can't think of anything better than, if you don't mind, going back again and really reintroduce to us again the 7 visions, because that is so powerful. That is the 7 campaign visions. So, Larry, thank you for joining us, and would you mind coming up and reiterating those 7 campaign visions for us?
That's no problem, Steve. My pleasure. And just remember, folks, when we speak of these 7 campaign visions, these are the results of what will happen when the 12 Visions Party president ends politicization and the regulations of our lives and businesses via the prime law of protection and the protection-only budget. So here we go with the 7 campaign visions. The first one is unprecedented security. Basically, the people will be well taken care of by the geniuses of society. And we've talked before about these geniuses of society. Another term is garage entrepreneur. Your neighbor, your friend down the street who has a great idea for some new technology or service, but just can't get off the ground due to the current stranglehold that our current government regulations have on that person. So just imagine the geniuses of society rising by the many millions as the 12 Vision Party ends most government regulations. The millions of free geniuses will drive technologies into new dimensions that bring undreamt of values to the people. And these will be remarkable values that will meet and they will surpass people's needs and solve their problems. So basically, the geniuses of society will be solving our problems instead of government trying to solve our problems. The second one, universal wealth. The cost for these new technologies will keep falling towards zero, similar to the personal computers during the computer revolution. The great technological revolution will happen in all industries and will make ordinary people more and more wealthy as costs in all industries keep falling. The third one, universal health. The new technologies racing ahead in all industries will especially race ahead in the medical industry without the destructive, cost-prohibitive FDA regulations holding the geniuses back. The geniuses will eradicate disease after disease. The geniuses will eradicate disease after disease. And their soaring new technologies will drive down medical costs. Basically, people will live with increasingly better health for increasingly longer lives. The fourth vision, job explosion and evolution. Businesses will strive to keep up in the rapid progress of the great technological revolution. Everything will change as businesses, to stay competitive, will concentrate on bringing out their greatest asset, and that is the unique creativity of their employees. Ordinary people will experience exhilarating, entrepreneurial-like jobs at their places of work, and they will love going to work as they discover the creation-driven life, the life they were meant to live. The next one is extraordinary marriages and love. The fifth campaign vision. The wonderful falling in love feelings in the early weeks of romantic relationships will tend to return. Why, you ask? People will rise from a life stuck in stagnation. They will rise into the creation-driven life of their dreams. With that